Hi, hello, I'm Sugar, and this is my team's MDT route for Spires of Ascension. We did this key on a 17 Fortified Sanguine Grievous Prideful week. We've also tested this route on other weeks, and it's been successful. You can find a link to the MDT import in the description below. Let's get into it. Pull 1 is very big, and we use Hero and all of our CDs. Grab the Mender, Vanguards, Castigator, and Goliath for 7 mobs in total. Assign one person to maintain interrupts on the Goliath. It's very important not to miss one. While your tank gathers the mobs, hold off on DPS. I'm just moonfiring here so I don't rip aggro. Don't be in front of the mobs to avoid being one-shot by any mechanics. Pull 2 is the 3-pack at the very top of the stairs. Nothing special here, DPS them down and head over to the next platform. On the next platform, for pull 3, CC the Mender before pulling. The tank should drag the Vanguards, Goliath, and Castigator down the stairs to the left to fight. When these 4 mobs are down, the first Pride spawns. We break the Mender a little bit before this happens and start cleaving it down. It's intended to have the Mender up with Pride. Always focus the Prideful and cleave the Mender. Pull 4 is the first boss with the Prideful buff and no hero. For this, just avoid stuff and DPS it down ASAP. After the boss is down, head right for pull 5. This includes all 6 Stealth Claws and the Lone Dark Praetor. A little trick for the Stealth Claws. You can drop trees, Earth Grab Totems, or flares to get them out of stealth and prevent them from stunning your tank. These mobs do high damage on the tank. Help them out by using AoE stuns, slows, pushbacks, or other forms of CC here. Be careful not to leave them in Sanguine. For pull 6, head back over to the left side and grab the 3 Ether Divers and 4 Skirmishers. In order to group them up, LOS them on the bottom corner of the stairs. On Sanguine weeks, drag the Ether Divers away from the other mobs to lessen the chances they'll get stuck in Sanguine. When one mob remains, the second Prideful will spawn. Focus the Pride and cleave the remaining mob. Pull 7 is a Squad Leader, Champion, and Skirmisher. Focus the Squad Leader first. This pull is made much easier on Fortified weeks by the Pride buff. Pull 8 is on the next platform and it's 5 Ether Divers. I usually try to Vortex, Typhoon, and Solar Beam these, but since it's Sanguine week, I didn't. Any other weeks though, it really helps. Pull 9 requires the use of some CC. We use 3 CCs in total, but you could get away with less. Sap on the Skirmisher, Flare and Trap on the Stealth Claw, and Hex on the Inquisitor. We then pull the Squad Leader away and DPS it down first. Once the Squad Leader is down, we combine the remaining mobs with pull 10, which is 3 Stealth Claws. To find these, use flares or abilities that can see stealth. If your group lacks those, you can use your tank's face. Or in our case, the Shaman Healers. When all mobs are down, the third Prideful spawns. If you have a Kyrian in the group, make sure that you pick up the spear here before heading to the next platform. Pull 11 is a Praetor and 4 Stealth Claws. This is a pretty nasty pack, so that's why we like to have the Pride buff here. Pull 12 is just the 3 Ether Divers. These can be pulled without aggroing the Goliath by targeting the middle one. Be mindful of where the pack of 3 pathing mobs is when doing this. Pull 13 is the pathing 3-pack. Focus the Squad Leader here first. Once all mobs are down, stick to the wall to skip the Goliath. You do not need stealth or invis here so long as you stay on the wall. Pull 14 is pretty rough. We use the Kyrian Spear here. If you don't have the spear, use forms of CC on them. The 4th Prideful will spawn with 1 mob remaining. We try to DPS the mobs down evenly to make this easier on us. Pull 15 is the second boss with the Prideful buff and hero. This one melts pretty quickly with the doubled up buffs. A trick for this boss is to put the black smoke clouds side by side and then move around to the other side of the room. I've also heard you can put them all in a line to help them be easier to dodge, but we didn't do that in this footage. The next platform has a spear. If you have a Kyrian in the group, have them grab it before heading up. Skip everything on the stairs and sneak past the group at the top. There are many ways to get past these mobs. Sap or Mind Soothe can be used on the rightmost mob to help protect the group from aggro. Door of Shadows and Warlock Gates can be used to teleport up to the right side. If your group doesn't have those, you can always Invispot here, as you don't have a need for it anywhere else. Once you've made it all the way up, pull 16 is the 4-pack of Wardens and Justicars. We CC 1 of each and pull 2 at a time. It's a little slower to do it this way, but safer because of all the interrupts needed. Pull 17 are all the non-elite usurpers. We let our tank go first to gather some aggro on them and follow behind. I recommend popping a personal here because even when we aren't in combat with them, we sometimes get hit by spears. Pull 18 is the same thing, just on the other side. Use the pillar to LOS them and wait for them to come back to avoid taking extra damage from the spears. Pull 19 is the third boss. On fortified weeks, we don't have hero or a pride buff for this one. On tyrannical weeks, you want to save hero for this instead of the second boss if you use this route. Fly up to the last platform for pull 20. Here, grab the middle Kyrian, Laxus. Pull 21 is Astranos, and after this Kyrian is down, the 5th Prideful spawns. Pull 22 is Klodos with Prideful buff and the spear we picked up earlier. Out of the 3 Kyrians here, Klodos is the most dangerous, so we like to have Pride for fortified weeks. We have even used Hero on this ad instead of the boss in some cases. Pull 23 is the 4th boss, and once that's down, congrats, you've timed your key. I hope you found this pull-by-pull breakdown helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Okay, bye!